It's you. Right.
Was poppin', was poppin', was poppin'. Welcome, Nikki and Moose. I'm Nikki. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
And welcome to the live show. Oh, wait, that's the after show vibes. You could tell what we were doing. Here we go. Here we go. So, on today's live, we are going to be talking about using other people's money. Whether it's a loan, whether it's a credit card, for our brand and our business. Are we doing it? Are we not? Should we not? What's the vibe? So make sure you wait to the end to get the full understanding of this topic. And of course, this is inspired by the latest episode of Nikki and Moose, episode 116 with Terry. Is it Kowser? God, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
With Terry. Shout out to Terry. If you haven't heard that, please go check out the audio experience of episode 116. Moose, how are you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. I actually, you know what's funny? I prepped an answer for this question before I got on, and I totally forgot the answer. I forgot what I was going to say.
All right.
But I'm good though. I mean, if it's,
yes.
I'm pretty good though. Yeah. So, what else is good? No, things are good, man. Things are good. I just feel like today was, when you have a whole day that feels like a week, that's what today felt like. Today felt like a whole week. But yeah, no, things are good, man. Things are good. I'm excited.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Once again, just like he said, today's a busy day, getting prepared for Christmas and that whole nine, traveling, getting stuff situated, finding new apps and getting excited about new apps. It's all great. Whatever. But the most important part, I can't even speak. The most important part is that the episode dropped today, and we're going to go a little bit into it. Now that we're doing these lives, what we're going to try to do is create an extension of some of the lessons that we learned in the episode. It's way different than the after show, so don't get it twisted as like, oh, it's a repeat. No, this is just taking a piece of the things we learned and creating further conversations. So if you haven't heard the episode, you may want to after this live. So Moose, start it off.
Yeah, man, it was a really powerful conversation with Terry because I think both you and I have never really crossed that bridge in thinking about how do we grow our brands and our businesses by utilizing other people's money. Now, that category of other people's money can really fall under several different things. You can use credit cards. That is technically other people's money. Yes, you have to pay it back, but it does qualify as other people's money. You can take a loan, whether it be from a bank, a friend, a family member, whoever it may be, right? That's another way of utilizing other people's money to invest it into your business. And of course, also partnering with or working with an investor where you're now exchanging their investment or the funds for equity into what you're building, right? That's another method of actually utilizing other people's money to grow your brand. And so I love how Terry broke it down for us because she showed how there is a lot of benefits to this when you're using it the right way and you're utilizing that money to build revenue producing assets or revenue generating assets, I should say. And then it really kind of triggered me today to say, I wonder what are the pros and cons of utilizing other people's money, especially when it's in exchange for some level of ownership or equity into the brand and business that you're building. All right, there's got to be some good that comes with that. There's got to be some bad that comes with that. And I just wanted to talk about that. I was like, man, I know that maybe in our community, we don't talk about these topics quite often, but why the heck not? It's probably a good time to start, especially as the concept of money and business and finances continues to grow. What a time to sit down and have this dialogue. And so I have a good friend of mine, who's building something really, really cool. You all might have heard about it. Phenomenal community. I have to get the ad read to actually say it correctly, but it's like the number one content branding community, also known as Deeper Than the Brand. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but super fire. Super fire, right? And so I'm like, man, what if an investor were to come to her, be like, yo, I'll give you a couple $100,000 for equity into Deeper Than the Brand. And so, yeah, Nick's like, let's talk about that, man. What's your thoughts on exchanging ownership or equity of what you're building for some level of, startup money or maybe even seed money to help grow your business even further? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not close to it, right?
Oh,
I'm not
really?
Yeah. I'm not close to it. It just has to make sense, right? Like, because for me, it's not necessarily about money. For me, it's about the mentorship and the guidance and the network that I'll have access to with that particular kind of talk, right? If it makes sense in that, absolutely, we could talk. If it's not, if it's just here's money in exchange for a percentage, not really. No one do that. No. It has to be mutual. It has to be something that always takes me to new levels. And though capital can definitely do that, I rather the guidance of experienced business owners, entrepreneurs that can definitely open some doors for me. Because when you're thinking about that, I'm also thinking about, okay, this is actually partnering with also a machine. So what can I get out of this machine? How long is it going to be for? Is this a forever thing? Is this a seasonal situation? What are we doing? And so, yeah, I'm not close to it. I'll say that. Not
Man.
close.
Yeah, that's surprising. Yeah, I thought you would have been like, nah, absolutely not. It's it's mine.
I want a building. I want AI situations. There's certain things that, though, yes, the doing it by myself can work. I'm just not in for the super long way anymore and trying to figure it out on my own anymore. Right now, I'll do it because I have to, but if there is a situation where it's like, hey, I see this, I see the numbers, I see what you're doing, I love who you are, so here is this. In exchange, I'm going to be doing this for you as well. Let's go.
Yeah, that's fire. It's like another way of paying to get in the room.
Yes.
Right. If you think about it, it's like, okay, I'll accept your investment because I know that that's going to put me in close proximity with the knowledge, the network, and the experience that you have. And we can pair that all together to really build something phenomenal, or at least extend what we have. So it's funny because I saw the Robert Smith interview with EYL, and that's exactly, at least what he was saying was, that's one of the main value adds or advantages that he brings to the table when he's in a private equity deal, or when he's merging with another company with the M&As. It's exactly that. It's like, hey, let's work together. In exchange for this, I get to show you how we've built all of this scale using systems and processes and expediting, a lot of your path to get there. Of course, another example that comes to mind is Alex Hermosi and what he's built, and we've covered him on the podcast as well. Shout out to Alex. I'm gonna say Alex the first name as if he's like my best friend, and we hang out and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, it's like a little cool little vibe. But shout out to Alex Hermosi, man, because he has the same situation set up, right? And we've talked about his content strategy where he wants to give all of his knowledge and all of his frameworks away for free online, and of course utilizing his content, because his goal is to help business owners or entrepreneurs scale to $3 million, and then from $3 million they become almost a qualified lead that can work with him in that private equity model under acquisition.com. So low key, it's actually something that I've always wanted to do as well, just like as I've started getting more exposure to the online space and how businesses work. I said, man, at some point, I think private equity is going to be the way for us to be able to invest in other people's businesses instead of having to build on our own at all times. So I actually find it pretty interesting that you say that you would be pretty open to it, but I don't blame you, right? And I think for a lot of us in that position, you might have not ever thought about it this way as, wait, would I give away ownership? And I think one of the lessons that we've learned throughout the many episodes of the podcast, not just this year, is probably emphasized this year, but it happened throughout the whole life of, or the lifeline of what we've been talking about, is that it doesn't matter. And we saw it more so in the music space. It doesn't matter to own your masters if your masters are not worth anything. And so that's the same thing. You might have 100% of your company and you say, yep, no, I'm the sole owner. I own this whole thing. But what's the value of your company, right? If it's not worth much and you're the sole owner, you might want to consider partnering with somebody else that can bring in an element of value, whether it be, again, capital and or experience, in exchange for a percentage of the company, because now you own a lesser percent of something that's more valuable, which is more important than having 100% of something that has no value. And so that's definitely a great way for us to start. I like what Terry said, man, and I actually want to bring this up because it's something that I did. And she said that another form, of course, of using other people's money is to go to banks that you already have relationships with, let them know that you started a business and that you would like a business credit card with them. And so I've been banking with Chase for since the inception of my business. God knows how long that's been. And so what I did was reached out to them, said, hey, I've had a business. My funds are with you guys. I want a business credit card. Low key, they gave me quite a bit of money on a credit card with that. And I was like, yo, that's genius, because now to almost run the strategy that you were suggesting, if you use that for expenses, just bare minimum, starting here, right? If you use that for expenses that you would have naturally took on into your business anyway, you would have paid them out of pocket. When you start to utilize the credit cards for something like that, and you're getting, say, a 1.5% return or something like that, you start to accumulate money on expenses or credit back on expenses that you would have naturally paid anyway. And so it's a great way to save a couple dollars, build credit for your business, and just exploring that in that credit and financial space, because I don't know that content creators, or I don't know about all business owners, but definitely, at least from my end, haven't really flirted into the credit space like that as a method of using that extra money to expand the business.
Yeah, no, I haven't even. Yeah, shout out to Terry, because I said January I'm gonna get serious as far as setting certain things up, because and we kind of alluded to it, I think, in the after show or on the episode itself, where we've been in the mindset of like, don't use credit, don't use other people's money. It's you could say that you got it out of the mud. You did everything on your own. You didn't use nobody's money. And I don't know if that's really a flex. If the goal is to have wealth, if the goal is, legacy, if the goal is, to scale in these whole nine. Like I'm starting to open my mind. I actually text her on some. I know a lot of people who do credit, and for the longest, it almost felt as if, y'all gonna get caught up one day. The way y'all doing things, it has to. It has, like, this don't even feel legal, right? And I think it's because it started to become a trend, and everybody was doing it. So, with how she explains it and how she does it, it's just more on, okay, I trust you because of how you break it down, how you are authentic with what you do based off your story, which completely speaks on the power of authenticity and the power of telling your story, that it allows you to stand out in front of a very saturated market, very trendy market. And she's done an amazing job, even though still very low key for most people. But we saw on YouTube, she's killing it over there, making a good amount of money over there based off things that she teaches from a paid standpoint. She texted me several days ago, here are the three videos you need to see first in order to get your business credit good. And then I got you on the next. Say less.
Wow.
And actually, I'll share it in the chat for those people, if I have it on me. For those people who want it, like, what are they're all free resources. This is what I love about Terry. She's like us. Here's the free resources. Use it, and then if you need further help, come holla at me. So yeah.
That's dope. Let's have a little I don't know, let's have a little fun with this. Let's say American Express, I know you got that Amex. So let's say American Express gives you I don't know, let's say 50,000. They give you like, you know what, Nikki, you got some things going on. We see what you're doing, and we're gonna give you 50,000. In your position, right? What would you say are the top 3 areas you might put some of that money in, right? Like, I don't know, whatever, just different categories, equipment, whatever, just from where you're sitting, where would you put, or what would you invest in, upgrade, et cetera, the top 3 things you might invest in with that extra credit line. And for someone just starting off, they want to do this the right way, and they're like, you know what, I have the money, but I'd rather not use it. And so I'm going to use a business credit or the credit. What do you think someone just starting off, what should they invest in too? So for you, top 3, and then for somebody just entering the space, what should they invest in?
For me, like I said, I'm really I think 2023 is going to be very much into understanding AI and how to incorporate it in deeper than the brand. So I'll probably invest a lot in how do we add that to somehow, some way, make that come alive for deeper than the brand from a content creation standpoint. Because right now with AI, it is really open to the world, however you want to go about it. There are different ones as far as like the written AI stuff. Some have, like, you could do voiceover AI. There's a lot of things, but I think if you create a central hub of what can help brands and creators come up with a system, I think that's something that I really want to go into. I gave Carl an idea, and he's like, I think you just made us rich. I said, just please execute on it. Thank you. So we'll see how that works. So for me, it's going to be that. And then Probably travel to be able to create content in different places. And one more thing, probably a central location spot, probably to rent with only 50. So probably to rent to be able to do like the podcast and just a different scenery kind of vibe. So between those. Now, what other people could do when they first start, that depends on the goal. I can't necessarily tell you this is what you should do. I mean, instant easy one is going to be equipment. Do you
Yeah.
have your Mac? Do you have, your camera, your lights, headphones, mic, everything that you would need in order to be able to create on a regular basis? But besides that, it all depends on the goal.
Let's go back to what you said though, because I'm sure somebody's listening. Like, okay, now I'm trying to do what Nikki's doing. Heck, that's some good stuff right there. It's funny because when you sent me the chat GBT, I think the site is called. Shout out to that site, by the way. I think they might have just saved us some big time on Tuesdays for sure. But when you sent that to me, immediately my mind went exactly in what you're thinking, right, about incorporating AI into deeper than the brand. But I was thinking about some other ways in which we can incorporate it from a training and a development standpoint in developing an app. And I said, okay, if we can utilize this type of technology or this type of functionality in the palm of your hands and really bring it live and direct in your phone, any and everywhere you go, this can really change the game for those in the personal development space, the mental health space. I think it creates a very unique experience. And so funny enough, definitely I would have to follow behind you and say, yeah, self-education into better understanding the AI space is probably where I'm going to put a good chunk of my money to figure out what courses, masterminds, programs, something to help entrepreneurs like ourselves or people in this space figure out how to start making sense of AI in that fashion, right? Because it's not to say that I'm trying to become, say, I don't know, an AI programmer or developer. I'm not sure what the title is for them, but it's not that I'm trying to be that, but definitely it's more of thinking about how can I utilize the next best thing into what I'm currently doing to extend and provide more skill, and of course, offer that to the marketplace and the people that we serve so that they have a more ease of use or they have a greater extension to what they're already doing. So I'm definitely right there with you. Side note, if you find something, just, what I'm saying, just text me or something and we can do it together. But that's really, really cool. Another thing I would also say, and I know we haven't really talked about it much on here. Might have covered it on the podcast once, but very, very lightly. And it's paid ads. Paid ads. I think that paid ads, I don't want to say underutilized, but definitely, if done right, tremendous opportunity there. Especially when you have something that is functioning and working. And so I would say a big portion of my business credit would be running paid ads. Now, I would go also and maybe do something a step before that, but I would collaborate with creators or hire creators to generate content for the brand as well. Now, I'm talking about the flight assessment, of course, specifically in this example. But one of the things that I've been thinking about is if you look at, think of like some of those horoscope pages and even some other psychometric tools and the pages that they run, it's never one set person who's generating content for some of the larger pages, right? It's usually a variety of different creators sharing their aspect or sharing their stance on, how they feel about how this describes them or better understanding of self. And that content really circulates the market or circulates the internet in bringing more interest in the product that's being sold. And again, in this case, the flight assessment. So I would say too, Nix, low key, probably even before paid ads, I would be using some of those funds to go toward content creators and just using their talents and their creativity to generate content, for us from a product and service standpoint.
That's smart.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Just
perfectly smart. I like that.
funny enough, because when I started thinking about podcast ads, we started incorporating the section onto the podcast. It was like, oh, we got a little sponsor right here on the podcast, and so yeah, man, I'm thinking more of utilizing that money, and I know it's not a direct method of, say, being able to generate revenue in terms of, I know like one of the things she mentioned was it was like a car rental app. I forget the name of it, but Terry mentioned something about utilizing the credit to get a car, put it on the app. Turo, there we go. What I'm saying is that's not, say, directly to that, but in our line of business, that is the second closest thing to it. Having content specific, a creative and content along with ads and things of that nature. Those are things that in our world typically have a good rate of return if they're done correctly. And so, of course, with extra funds, I would be pumping money in that direction all day.
I like that. That. That's it.
There you have it. Yeah.
I'm gonna need to work on your endings.
Yeah, there you have it.
All right, people. So let us know in the chat what you would use. Well, what's the line of credit you gave them? 50?
50.
Yes.
50,000.
If you had 50K, a line of credit, what would you use it for? Or if you already have it, what have you used it for? Let's share this with the people so they can get ideas of what to do with their business, with their brand. Please go check out the latest episode with Terry, episode 116. 116? Yes, 116. And the full video drops Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we drop the full video experience for our YouTube people. So go check that out. Moose, this was a great conversation. Appreciate you. And you know what we're going to say?
Peace, y'all.